So sustainability for me started pretty young in the family that I was in. My mom was in the Navy, and so we moved every 3 or 4 years. And so I got to live in some pretty cool places. I got to hike and ski. And when we lived on the East Coast, we'd go up to Maine and we'd camp out on the beach there. Also felt like too, my dad's side of the family were always conservationists. And so we spent a lot of time out in nature. And so for me personally, I was always attracted to being out in nature and just being outside as much as I could. Really education to me. I love working in educational environments because it is that intersection where energy and environmental stewardship meets health and wellness. The whole point when we're working on a school project, we're not building a school project to achieve LEED certification or achieve WELL certification. Those are nice outcomes. We're building schools to educate kids. And what I love being able to do is apply the latest research. There's always new stuff coming out that should inform the design practices. So I'm really interested in grabbing that kind of information, applying it to educational environments and figuring out ways, especially in school districts, that are going to own those buildings for so long. And they're going to have so many generations of kids coming in there. It's a way to impact way more people than just the kids that are there that day. A performance standpoint, Pittsburgh is definitely leading the way with some of the projects that are happening here. Projects that are going for Living Building Challenge, projects that are setting aggressive energy targets. So we're working with Community College of Allegheny County on their new workforce development project, and they've set net zero energy goals. So that's pretty neat that generations of students that would go to school there and learn how to work on autonomous vehicles are hopefully going to do so in a net zero project. So I think around the issues of energy and certainly like the 2030 district, Pittsburgh is a model, I think, for a lot of other cities to take a look at. How do we avoid plateauing and going to the next thing? That's not a conversation that many cities are having. They're really content to, I think, rest on their laurels. And Pittsburgh doesn't spend a long time celebrating their success. They're already kind of moving on to the next thing and trying to future-proof things. Yeah, and I think just kind of this continued drive to performance. So what's happening with the 2030 district is neat. And, there's a lot of great work being done to reduce energy use in those buildings. There's going to be some really substantial challenges coming up ahead. I think the difference between going from 20% energy reduction to 40% and then 60 and 80% energy reduction is going to be really hard work. It's going to be really challenging, but that's a technical challenge that we'll all have to solve. And so that's going to be, I think, it's going to keep us sharp. That's for sure. One thing outsiders don't know about Pittsburgh, even the folks that have been to Pittsburgh a lot of times don't know this, is how awesome the trail system is in Pittsburgh. And I don't just mean the riverfront, because that's the stuff that people sometimes seen. But from a selfish standpoint, I've got a mountain biking habit. And part of what drew me to the last place I lived was the skiing and biking, and spent 14 years out there. My mountain biking habit has not suffered one bit in Pittsburgh.